let's move on to Ethereum, because I know a lot of you guys still hold this coin for some reason. With Ethereum, we're gonna take a step way back here. We're gonna zoom out. We're gonna zoom way out. I'm gonna clear the chart. I'm gonna tell a little story. Ethereum 12-month chart. $2021 bull run candle, nice expansion candle, flat bottom sketch. Then we get this mega bearish expansion candle. And then the recent move up sweeps this bearish expansion candle. And now we've broken the low of the yearly candle that swept this, right? So in my mind, like a very obvious target is the low of this expansion candle, right? So that would be 879. But then I also look down here and I see this flat candle and I'm like, well, why wouldn't we take this too? Especially since we've sort of failed to close above. It makes sense that we might take the low of this expansion candle. That takes us to about 737. If we view the sort of 2018 bear market, right? We just view this as sort of like a giant bullish order block. Giant bullish accumulation zone. It is worth noting that the mid-range of this zone has never been tagged, and it rests like very nicely in line with the low of the 2021 candle at this 730 or so level, right? So I think this is extreme value for Ethereum. And yes, that would be pretty brutal. That's another 60% down from here, and that is a 80 some odd percent drawdown from this sort of all-time high. Well, excuse me, the high of this mini cycle. But it just makes a lot of sense to me that would happen from the candle science. I think I've talked to you guys about the double top here. Double top usually runs the low. We've got the magnet of this zone, but like all the stars are aligning for like a pretty big move down. Most recent quarterly candle, mega bearish, closed below the previous bullish candle. These lows at a minimum probably are the next target. So this is 1530. That being said, there's some stuff to note on the lower time frame chart. And you know, the first area of trouble, I think, for bears is going to be this origin zone here, this order block on the weekly that has just barely been tapped already, but I think probably gets tagged a little bit lower. So I think this could potentially produce like a pretty violent reaction. Would not shock me if we come in here and like do some really, really pumpy move up and then die. Because it's a pretty key level. It's a pretty key level. Now, I think the main thing holding Ethereum back right now is this like a little weekly order block here. This is an interesting area because if I zoom in a little bit, you can probably see it a little more clearly. Probably refine this zone. This is an interesting area because it is the demand that broke this high, and this zone broke this high, right? So it's the sort of zone responsible within the zone responsible for this like big move, right? So it's a critical sort of like pivot area for us. And you can see we've kind of closed through it. We came up, underside retest, also underside retest to this quarterly level at 21, and then dumped down pretty forcefully, right? So everything to me indicates that we want to go lower. Like we've basically accepted within this range here. So this is the range I'm sort of currently working with on ETH on my lower time frames. See a nice little bounce off the mid-range, double bottom off the mid-range there. So but you can see price into the zone. We sort of like deviate the high of this range, reject off of this sort of demand that we sort of flipped into resistance. And now we've put in a couple of bearish fair value gaps, and you can come on the 2-day chart and you can see that this is just one bearish fair value gap. And then we have this kind of magnet below us. You know, I think that this 1750 low is a pretty obvious target. I don't know how deep we go into this zone. If we don't immediately bottom on sweeping the weekly level, I think we could go down into kind of 640s or so. But that is my near-term bias on ETH. And if I kind of run a similar lower time frame analysis that we ran on Bitcoin, you can see like obviously we've clearly got a sort of lower time frame, you know, more internal structural break. This is a pretty bearish shift right now. So I think until proven otherwise, kind of assuming that price is going to come up in here and then roll over. And then does it give you like a crazy long opportunity? Is there some little blow off in April or May? Possibly. But for now, I'm sort of focused on like the long term, you know, the multi-months, the maybe even multi-year, depending on how this plays out. The multi-month is quite bearish in my opinion. And then, you know, the sort of multi-day, multi-week, however long this plays out is also bearish in my opinion. And then somewhere in the middle, we have the room for price to do something like come back off this zone and reclaim, right? At which point we're back inside this range, and like we could do some serious damage to the upside, especially because everybody and their mother is currently short this coin, and it's been left for dead, and for good reason. For good reason. I don't think there's any reason to sort of jump in front of that train right now. I'm just saying, like I do see like the sort of in between potential for us to go up before the longer term bear. But yeah, medium short term target on ETH 1740, longer term target on ETH probably 800, open to longs in the middle. ETH BTC, I mean, we could talk about this like a little bit. Just one of the worst charts in all of charts in existence right now. I mean, we've lost this sort of last gasp range.